Look at her, you guys. Isn't she gorgeous? Good morning, family. Good morning, family. Don't forget, grow some trees, grow some food, grow something. Let's get started. Good morning, family. Guess what? Today's a holiday. Not a holiday that I celebrate, but it is a holiday, so I know most of you are at home. So I decided to do a tour this morning. This is going to be the July garden tour, and hopefully you guys will get a little bit of a insight into what it takes to garden in a high temperature area. We have been in the hundreds, and I mean 102 to 108 all week. So it's not easy taking care of a garden in this type of heat. So I want to let you guys know what does grow here. And you can see how some things are struggling and some things are actually thriving. So stay tuned and let's get started. All right, family, so I thought I would start over here with the Lantana. Now, most of you guys know I have had this Lantana for about, I think it's 8 years. And this guy grows pretty tall. So this is at my eye level. And as you can see, it's taller than I am. I trim this back quite often and I prune it really hard because it will completely cover the walkway over here and it will take over this side of my garden. Lantana are perennials out here. They do not die off or die back. I can cut this guy all the way to the ground and within a couple of weeks it will actually have leaves and blooms already. Over here, I have some of my fruit trees that are in containers. Well, all of my fruit trees are in containers. This is a Mexican lime, and we've been in a heat wave now for a few weeks, but this past week was really brutal. We had temperatures completely in the hundreds. Every day it was about 102 to 108. And started getting lots of burning on the leaves, and I ended up having to start covering these guys with the little lightweight tarps that I have. But as you can see, there is plenty of fruit on here. This guy sets fruit so often. I mean, as soon as I'm picking the last batch from the last season, it's already pushing out blooms and setting more fruit. Now this guy over here is my happy moment this year. I bought this mandarin orange as a little tree right when the pandemic began, and this is the first year that it is actually setting fruit. So hopefully I will get some mandarin oranges this year. There's quite a bit on there, and it's actually got some more blooms that are coming. So I'm really happy with that tree. Over here in my grow box, which is really in need of a lot of help right now. I need to start pulling things out of here. As you can see, the chocolate mint is just beautiful and doing fine, but I do need to pull all of these little onions out of here, these royal burgundy bush beans, because it is just too hot out here. Look at how little these guys are. It is so hot, and it would take so much water to take care of these guys. Also with this celery, like I said, this old collard that I actually let go to seed, but now it has, look at that. Those are cucamelons. So I had cucamelons growing in here last year, and they have reseeded themselves, and they're growing up this guy. They're using it as a trellis. Now, my main success story this year is this Gilet 3 cucumber. So you guys know my struggle with this cucumber. And this year I ended up getting 5 cucumbers off of it. And I am so happy. Like I said, it is just so hot right now. It's still pushing out blooms, but I'm starting to get, you know, deformed little fruit. It's taking a lot of water and it's going to need a lot of fertilizing. And you know, I may let it continue because, like I said, it's making it. It's surviving. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and let it grow, and I'm gonna prune back a lot of these dead leaves off of here. I have to keep this guy covered most of the time because, like I said, it is way too hot. But with keeping it covered, it's making it a lot harder for pollinators to get in here. So a lot of the blooms are just dying off, and I've left it uncovered for the past 2 days now because, well, yesterday and today. Yesterday it was only 89 degrees, and I think it's in the high 80s today also. So these were the black radishes. It was just way too hot for them, so they didn't actually form a bulb, but they did bloom. So I like the little flower, and I was kind of going to let them go to seed, but I don't know. I'm just going to pull them out also. So over here, I do have what was supposed to be yellow bell peppers, and every single one of them just kind of skipped past the yellow stage and went straight to red. So they went completely green to red. I've already picked about 4 of them off of here, but they are still producing. Like I said, they were supposed to be sweet yellow peppers, and yeah, no, they've either mislabeled them, or it is just way too hot out here, and you know, they just went straight to red. This is a sweet potato vine that was just a clipping from another plant that I had, and it's doing pretty well. But you know what, I also used to have cucamelons over here too, and they are coming back also. The kids are going to be happy because they love them. They call them little watermelons. This right here is a green bell pepper plant that I have had for 3 years now. Yep, it was over there in one of the raised beds, and I pruned it really hard all the way back. And once I started planting this box, I went ahead and brought it over here to see if it would come back, and as you can see, it is. Still have lots of beans and stuff in here that also need to come out because, like I said, it is just way too hot. So it's only giving me these little tiny beans, and they're really not good for anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and let them grow for a little while and see if we get a few days of cool temperatures and see how it does. I also have another collard green over here, and I have Swiss chard down here. This one has also been growing since the fall, and as you can see, it's doing really well. This is my Meyer lemon, also another one that has been taking a beating with this heat. And one of the worst things I think about growing things in the heat is you tend to overwater also. You're so afraid that things are just going to die in the heat, and you start watering to hydrate everything, and sometimes we end up overwatering plants. But it's doing okay. I did get a lot of yellowing leaves, as you can see down there, and lots of burning, but it's hanging in there. It's pretty tough. I have my mint down there. And if you guys watched my last video, you know that I did do a 99-cent store 99-cent only store plant haul. Well, I did end up going back and I ended up getting a patio type tomato. I ended up getting some more oregano, and which one of the peppers is this? Oh, and a serrano pepper. I found lemongrass, some portulaca, a beautiful pink and white lantana that I have knocked all of the flowers off of, and then I grabbed a few more marigolds. My strawberry tower is done because I have not been paying it any attention. I grow the strawberries strictly for the grandkids, and with the hubby having COVID for the past couple of weeks, I haven't paid it any attention, and I've pretty much been just letting the berries rot on there. And with this heat, you know, and not paying any attention to it, they're not doing well. These strawberries are about 1.5 years old, if not longer. In fact, 2 of the plants were 2 years old. So, you know, it's about that time. I have Swiss chard over here in this raised bed. It's really amazing to me that it's actually growing in all of this heat, because during the daytime, this one here, all the way up until maybe about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, is in full sun. And I mean full sun. And so, you know, it's a lot tougher than I thought it was, because like I said, it's actually surviving in these high temperatures. Now, this is my succulent garden. My succulent garden is kind of in transition right now, because I'm actually thinking about either removing it or cutting it down. So all of these years that I have been here, these past 2 years, I've had a lot of gopher problems that I didn't have before. So this is one of the areas that I never had a gopher come through ever. And this past probably 6 months, the gopher has been tunneling through here. So my stick's on fire. It went through, it ate the root system off of it, and it toppled over. I pulled it up. I dug a new hole. I stuck it in the new hole to see if it would root for me, and you know what? It came through and it did that also. Something else, which I think is a raccoon, has been making a trail through here. So as you can see, there is an opening in there, and it's trampled a few plants also. But most of the plants in here are pretty overgrown, and I really need to prune those all the way down. But like I said, I'm kind of considering taking all of this out and using it for another vegetable garden. I have lavender over here. These are 2 different types of lavenders. Don't ask me the name because I really don't remember. And I'm one of those people that I kind of just grow lavender because I like the way it looks. And I love how it's usually covered in bees. So I don't really harvest it or use it for medicinal purposes. But maybe that's something that I will decide to do in the future. Over here we have what was and will once again be my vegetable garden, but for now it is my nursery. So I do have the red grapefruit tree here, the little one, and then I have my Nagami kumquat. As you can see, it is blooming, but it is also taking a beating from this heat also. And these were the lemon tree seedlings that I had over there that I grew from seed. I'm really curious as to see what type of fruit they actually produce, because if you guys know, most trees that are sold here are hybrids. And this one, the seeds that I got for these seedlings actually came from my neighbor's tree back there, and that tree is fully grown and approximately maybe 40 years old. So I'm hoping that I'm actually going to get the fruit, the same fruit that the mother tree is providing, but you know, I'm not going to hold my breath on that. As you can see, these are all of the roses that I picked up at the Home Depot sale. I did prune them all the way back, and they are starting to bloom again. I'm really happy with that. These are the purple hull peas, and they're holding their own here in this heat. That is the only, well, one of the only beds I haven't taken out. I have more roses. And these are the black cobra peppers. These came from the 99-cent only store a year ago. And as you can see, they are holding up great. Over here, I did do a lot of extractions, I guess you could say, and I cut down a lot of plants because, you know, succulents do overgrow also. And as you can see, this one is starting to come back. It had grown so tall that it was actually blocking the sprinklers over here, and I get all of this dead spots from the ice plants. I have a mixture of plants over here in this area, and including, you know, some zinnias, society garlic, chrysanthemums, my canna that I actually separated and transplanted over here from the canna that I have in the bed over there. I have beautiful, beautiful succulents growing in here, cosmos that actually, some of them reseeded themselves, and then some I actually just sprinkled seeds around. I have a beautiful Tropicana down here in this pot. There's an English boxwood, lots of kalanchoe, and beautiful pink bower vine that is in need of some training right now. But this is the first time that it has actually made it all the way to the top and not just a piece of it. As you can see, my boxwoods need to be trimmed up, but I have been waiting for this bower vine. It's supposed to grow over 12 feet, and I was told that it grows really quickly, but it's not growing as fast as I would like it to. But it has reached the top, and it is actually going over the arbor, which is what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to cover this whole thing and just have beautiful pink blooms drooping down everywhere. Over here in this bed, I do have society garlic, the red apple. There's also ice plants in there. This beautiful lantana that I just pruned extremely hard 2 days ago because it had grown out all the way across the sidewalk, and it was kind of hard to get past it. So let's go through the arbor. I have golden euonymus growing in a circle around this beautiful white crepe myrtle. I have a gorgeous crepe myrtle over here that is putting on lots of new growth. This is a dynamite crepe myrtle. As you guys can see, I actually had to trim back the evening primrose because it was just going bananas. It was going crazy, and it's already starting to push out new growth. So I was kind of hesitant on pruning it because I didn't know if it was going to kill it, but I did a little research. It said I could, and I did. So I am actually able to walk past here now. If you've seen my past videos, you know that the gopher also came through here and took out my beautiful, one of my beautiful black diamond crepe myrtles. And it has sent out runners, and I'm getting a couple of brand new plants. without having to pay a dime. I have my beautiful Shasta daisies over here. I just cut them back because they're going pretty crazy also. And just came through and watered, so they're kind of laying down right now. But these guys are usually standing up and beautiful. As you guys can see, there's everything over here from snapdragons to coreopsis to cosmos, and my bird of paradise is in there. I also have the society garlic on that side also. I have another beautiful dynamite crepe myrtle. When I did the crepe myrtle video, it wasn't blooming yet, but it has now started to bloom, and these are those gorgeous red blooms that I was talking about. I absolutely adore them. They are beautiful. Also, my rose mallows have started to bloom. Sadly, these blooms only last a day, and yesterday there were gorgeous blooms all over it, and as you can see, they are drying up right now. I have another, well, a bunch of Tropicana in there. Yes, that was one plant and it did spread. Cosmos have also taken over in this bed. I was trying to see down in there. But red salvia growing down here that needs to be deadheaded. Lots of coreopsis. I do have a hibiscus here, but this Cosmo has seeded itself here, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's kind of grown straight through the roots of that hibiscus, and this guy is a monster. Look at this. This is one plant. And it is covering everything. I don't know if I want to cut it back or not, because it's actually thriving, and it's thriving on its own. I did not plant it. This is just where it decided to reseed itself. So like I said, lots of beautiful coreopsis, and the drumstick alliums are starting to dry up. The beautiful dahlia has gotten even taller than it was in the last video. I have zinnias that I pulled up that I found in the lawn, and I popped them in over here. They're doing well. And look at this guy has even covered the sunflowers that were down in there. I have another hibiscus over here. More zinnias that I pulled up. And this is the other rose mallow. Let's see if I can get my shadow out of the way. It's kind of hard. It's morning, you know, so. But it gets gorgeous. This color is just beautiful. But like I said, the blooms only last a day. But there are more coming. These chrysanthemums over here are a couple years old. They were in pots, and trying to eliminate all of the pots that I have in my yard, so I went ahead and put those in the ground. And this is my parent canna. It has been blooming for a while. I know a lot of people don't like the look of spent cannas, but it actually doesn't bother me too much. And I don't know, maybe I'll get out here and cut those heads off of there, but like I said, it doesn't bother me too much. Let's head over this way. This is my wild area. I don't go back there too often. But I have the red tip photinia here. There are 3 different lantanas in here that have grown in so thickly. And lavender here. There is a butterfly bush over here. And those who know me know that I don't care for gardenias. I can't stand the scent of them. but I think the flowers are beautiful. So I plant them way in the back of the yard. Look at this beauty. It's just so pretty. This is the Golden Delicious apple tree. Like I said, all of my fruit trees are in containers. I've had this guy only for one season, so I think it's doing pretty good. I have more Lantana over here. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but there is Diamond Frost Euphoria. Euphoria's growing in there. And I just kind of let this back fence back here, this back bed, just grow wild, because I pretty much put this bed back here just to cover this back fence for, you know, more privacy. There's, you know, everything from the sea lavender. Let's see if it's still in there. I can barely see it, but it is in there, to lavender growing back over there. This was the Cape Plumbago that was growing way over there in the corner, and it wasn't doing too well. I dug it up, I put it in a container, I pruned it all the way down, and I was really afraid that I killed it, and you know what? I didn't. It actually has been blooming, and it's been doing pretty well. As you can see, there's a Gara in there. It always finds its way out to the surface. I do have flowering sage in there, but like I said, these lantanas have just taken over everything back here, and it's okay. I'm fine with most of the plants that I have growing wild like this, because like I said, not only do I like the look, but I wanted privacy against this fence back here. This is the Fuji apple tree. I moved it way back here to the back of the property, and it seems to like it back here because it is actually getting a lot of growth on it, and it's getting a little bushier, and I really think it's because it is next to a sprinkler back here, so it's getting more water back here in this area. I really want to show you guys these hibiscus, but with that sun coming through there, I'm not sure if I'll be able to give you guys a proper look. But this one is called Brilliant, and it gets these beautiful red flowers on here. And once again, hibiscus blooms only last a day, so it gets a lot of blooms, but by tomorrow they will be spent. I also have this Cuban gold back here, which also, let's see if I can get a little bit closer, has these beautiful blooms, but after one day they are also spent. I have Mexican heathers down in here that are probably the tiniest flower in my garden, but they are so pretty, and they grow so low that they're almost like a ground cover. There are also more lantanas growing back there in the back. I have a sweet pea bush over here, and there are more chrysanthemums down here also. Now, this is my little pomegranate tree, and as I said before, I was so happy that it is actually developing fruit right now. It did still drop a few of them, but for the most part, the majority of them are hanging on in here. So I don't know, like I said, maybe I will get some pomegranates this year. My beautiful bougainvillea is also in a container over here. I tried for years to grow bougainvillea in the ground and was never successful. And I found this one on clearance. I put it in a container, and it has been perfectly fine ever since. It is just growing and blooming. So over here, yes, can you guys tell that today is the 4th of July? So, I mean, here in SoCal, we get fireworks every day, and I mean every night somebody is setting off fireworks, and they are setting off fireworks probably from February all the way through September. Okay, so now you guys know I was waiting for this climbing. This one is a sunny Susan. It's not a black-eyed Susan like the ones over there, but it's the same plant, just different color. And this one gets the multiple shades of pink on here, and I was waiting for it to reach the top. I wanted to cover this entire arch, and it is doing it now. I have vines growing back here on a tomato cage, and it's pretty much just to take a little bit off of the compost bin back here. This is a beautiful Martha Washington geranium. And wow, I just realized you're spreading. Pretty cool. Didn't know you did that. Also have some coreopsis growing in there. And these are the beautiful pink blooms that were covered all over this bougainvillea a couple of months ago. So I did put out a little extra water for the birds because the majority of them that frequent my yard now are a little too big to fit through the openings on the cages on the pond enclosure. And like I said, it's been extremely hot, so I did put a little water over here. All I did was go to Ross. I found a little resin bowl. It's actually pretty cute. It's got a sea turtle. Yeah, it's got a sea turtle on there. And it was on clearance for $5.50. So I picked that up and I just stuck it on a little wrought iron plant stand that I wasn't using, and put it back here in this corner for them. The sun is coming up, so it's getting a little hot out here. I'm gonna have to hurry up. This is the volunteer fig tree that grew, just popped up back there in the back bed. And I dug it up. I cut it down to a little stick. And as you can see, it is doing great. I don't think there's any fruit on here, but that's fine. I'm not actually a fig person, but I do like growing things, and I wanted to see if it would survive. And like I said, it's doing great. This is another black diamond crepe myrtle. In the video also, this one wasn't blooming yet, and as you can see, look at that. This was my very first black diamond crepe myrtle, and it's probably my favorite still. I just love that deep, dark foliage and then the bright purple blooms that it gets. I have the yellow bells here. More zinnias have popped up, and like I said, I just kind of stick them everywhere. This is so funny. What is this? Impatiens? This plant I bought for, I think it was $1 on clearance, and it was supposed to be an annual. This plant has been here for about 2 years now. And I don't do anything to it. I don't fertilize it or anything. It just lives in its bed and it gets the water from the sprinklers, and that is it. This is a goji berry that has never done anything, and I mean anything. It is in a container. It's in a wine barrel, the half wine barrel, and it doesn't die, which I really thought about just cutting it, completely to the soil. But it's not producing. I think it really needs to be in the ground, and yeah, it just gives me these sad little leaves, and that's it. But I do have the sedum growing in here, which was originally over there in that bed, and kept having problems with squirrels and gophers, and so I had some broken pieces. I took them off. I went and I stuck them over here, and it has just dominated this barrel. Gives me gorgeous, beautiful pink blooms that end up turning white, And if you guys don't know, succulents are really easy to grow. You can actually just break a piece of it off and stick it in soil and it will actually root for you. Like I said, really easy, and they take less water than, seriously, like you can give them a teaspoon of water a week and they will survive. So I'm going to give you guys an overview of what I call my prayer garden. And now we're going to go through the tunnel. This is a climbing black-eyed Susan, I guess you could say arch, but it's funny because this is 2 plants, just 2. They were $1 plants. They were about 7 inches tall, and they were on clearance at Home Depot for $1 each. I had no idea that they would do this. So I had 2 more that I found on clearance that were the beautiful orange color, and I planted them over here at this base, and I know they are still in there because I had to get on my tippy toes to do that, to show you guys. So there's not a lot of blooms down here anymore, but like I said, they are up there. But do you see that gorgeous color? Yeah. I would love it if within the next couple of years they kind of filled in and this whole thing was orange and yellow. I have grapevines over here. And I know you guys have asked me before what type of grapes they are. And you know what? They were on clearance at Walmart. I'm pretty sure they're muscadines. I don't know. It gave me 1 bunch this year. I had 2 last year and the squirrels ate them. So this year I ended up only finding the 1 bunch, and they were really good. Very sweet little purple grapes. And I was so thankful that the squirrels decided to leave me a few, and I was able to get a good snack. All right, through the tunnel, do have another crepe myrtle over here. This is my lavender one. I don't know if it's too dark over here, but as you can see, it's putting out lots of new growth. So I should be getting blooms on it really soon. I do have rosemary growing back here, and I just pruned it super hard because it literally just covered that entire area back there. And if you guys know anything about rosemary and heat, you know that you will get lots and lots of spider webs. This is another crepe myrtle. Do you guys see this? Like I said, it has been so hot that everything is getting scalded. But these are tough plants. They do well in the heat. As you can see, I'm about to get blooms. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this one does the pink also. Look at this. These guys are always putting out these little, I call them bean pods. But they give me these beautiful yellow flowers. They're just gorgeous. This is a honey myrtle. If you guys have been following me for a while now, then you know, look at this. Look at that. I bought this tree for $5. $5 at the University of Riverside. They have a botanical garden and they had a plant sale. So we went out there and we purchased a few things. It was nice to, they had all their master gardeners out there and they explained plants to you and, you know, their origins. And, you know, they told me that this was a fast growing tree and that it was drought tolerant, and they are not kidding. Look at that. This is 2 years, you guys. 2 years of growth. And this guy has taken off. Now, one of the main reasons I bought this tree was because it blooms. Let's see, this one is fading, but it's the closest one to me. Do you guys see that? They look like little pink pom-poms. And the first year I got nothing. Last season I ended up getting a few of them, but this season I'm finding more and more on them. So I do know that one of the things I didn't plan on doing is I do prune this tree quite often. As you can see, it has beautiful bark, but it gets lots of these little tiny side shoots in here, and I end up going through and pruning all of those little branches off of there to give it a cleaner look. For me, it just creates better airflow, and I don't have to worry about spider webs, and because you know, in this heat we tend to get a lot of spider webs. I also have junipers growing down in there, which I almost forgot to mention. When I did this bed originally, it was the 3 junipers, and there's one over there also. And then I ended up putting in the lavender and the honey myrtle. There is a gardenia down here. I won this gardenia actually at a church garden opening. This is Texas sage, and it is actually in a container. If I put it in the ground, it will probably do what it is supposed to do. It gets these beautiful pink flowers, and it will grow and grow and grow. But I had it in the ground towards the back of the yard, and it wasn't doing well in the spot that it was in. So I actually dug it up, put it in a pot, and it's been in a pot ever since. It needs full sun, it is drought tolerant, and it will grow into a humongous hedge. So I'm gonna have to figure out where to put it in the ground, and it would be best on the back fence back there, because like I said, it will create a lot of privacy, but I'm just not sure where I want it. So plants that I'm not sure of where I want them, I kind of put them in pots, or if I put them in the ground before and they didn't do good in the place where I put them, I will actually dig them up and put them in pots to see where I want them. That is what happened with these two. They were actually planted over there in front of the pond, and they didn't like it. I planted them also in another spot. They didn't like it there either, so I put them back into pots, and they've been fine ever since. This is my absolute favorite flowering plant. I love Agapanthus. Agapanthus is the most beautiful flower in the world to me. I love them, and they are drought tolerant. They are perennials for us. They bloom beautifully, and they just remind me of fireworks, you know, just sitting above the garden. And look at this. They don't even care that I'm standing here. Just so beautiful. Okay, and I have more society garlic. This is also another Cosmo that just reseeded itself, and it reseeded itself in a pot that I have beautiful tulips in there. There are bulbs in there, and it just kind of reseeded itself in there. And you know what, like I said, I'm not really growing a lot this year. I didn't put in too much that was new, and I'm trying to give my garden a break until the fall season hits. And anything that's growing on its own, I'm just letting it do it. So one of the last things I want to show you is the beautiful pink crepe myrtle that I showed you in the video. And look at this. Look how beautiful those are. Gorgeous color. And like I said, my crepe myrtles, they bring me so much joy. I would probably have an entire fence of them, an entire hedge of them, if I wanted to do the work to have all of that taken out. Now, what I do want taken out is this guy right here. I bought this trampoline when my daughter was 9 years old. My daughter is 22. She will be 23 this year. But my grandkids and all of the other kids who come here, they just love this trampoline. So I have to figure out a way to just continue to garden around it, which is why I'm thinking that I might be taking up all of these succulents and putting in vegetable beds over here, because I love the succulents. I think they are beautiful. And like I said, they are drought tolerant. They take very little water, but they don't really help feed my family. They actually take out of my pocket instead of, you know, putting into my family's well-being. So I don't know. I'm still considering it. You guys let me know what you think. Should I take out the succulents? Should I just relocate them? What should I do? And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think vegetables and a vegetable garden is more important? Or should I let the succulents grow? Oh, look at this. I almost forgot. You guys know about my Loquat tree. I love my Loquat tree. This is my, look at this guy. Just hanging out. My Loquat tree is in a container, and because of this, it needs a little bit of shade because the leaves tend to scorch in the heat. Most Loquat trees that I see that are fully grown, fully established, that are in the ground, they are full sun. So I don't know if it's because the roots don't have enough room to stretch out and, you know, get really established. But I don't know. I'm thinking about putting it in the ground. But like I said, the problems I have with gophers right now, you know, I would have to pretty much build a cage in the ground of wire mesh and then plant. So not sure. I'm still thinking about that, but I do keep an umbrella up over here to kind of shade some of the things over here so that they don't get burned. And just like that, they all opened up. Look how beautiful these guys are. Okay, family, so I hope you all enjoyed the tour. It's starting to get a little noisy out here. People are starting to wake up and get their day started, and I guess they're doing a little cleanup and, you know, getting ready for tonight. I really hope you all stay safe out there. Be smart. You know what I mean. And stay blessed. I'm going to get my day started. I'm going to go in and make myself breakfast, and hopefully today will just be a day of vegging out on the couch. I just want to sit on the couch and watch old movies, old murder mysteries, and yeah, just take a whole day of relaxing. And you know, it's just my life right now. But anyway, you guys stay blessed out there, and I will see you all in the next video.